The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you for joining us again. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. Here we go once again with tremendous guests. We're going to find out a lot about Houston real estate once again on this special edition of Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. And we're going to start with a tremendous top-producing real estate broker. Her name is Christina Boston, doing business right here in Houston, Texas. Her company's called the Boston Real Estate Group. Christina, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me again. It's a pleasure to be back.
And I know when I first met you, just that last name, Boston, I just love that. People can remember you in an instant, don't they?
Thank you. Between the name and the face, I would hope that they would remember me.
Indeed they do. So let's tell people, Boston Real Estate Group, a little bit about your company first and kind of the area of town that you're in.
Yeah, Boston Real Estate Group is an independent brokerage. I keep it small. It's just me right now and my team. I've got some in-house designers. I have awesome people that work with me. But we focus on all the greater Houston area and surrounding areas. We just did a deal in Manville, Texas. We're located primarily in Northwest Houston, Cypress area. But I'm a native Houstonian, even though my last name is Boston. So I know this city like the back of my hand. So I can really do a deal anywhere.
Indeed you do. And you're doing tremendous work all the time. I know that. As far as let's talk about that Northwest area first, the Cypress area. We hear so much about that. Mm-hmm. We hear about Bridgeland. Mm-hmm. Give us an idea of the marketplace right now in those areas. Let's say if I'm a buyer and I'm looking to buy real estate there.
Yeah, buyers, there's a lot of buyers out in the market right now. It's hot in our area. If you've got that house that the people are looking for, they're going to fight over it. So whether it's right now, it's houses with pools still, the one story still, it's those key houses that when they come on the market, there's bidding wars right now. So it's a great time to sell because there's a lot of buyers out there. And if you're a buyer, you want to have all your ducks in a row so that when you're ready to put an offer on a property, not only are you well represented, but you have all of your documentation in place so that you can look the best to the seller because you want to look really good to sellers right now.
Just as an idea, let's say out of the last 10 buyers that you have been serving, how many of them are cash buyers?
I haven't had a whole lot of cash buyers. Most of them have been taking advantage of the almost cash-like financing. So I'd say a couple out of those 10. Yeah, if you're doing well right now in business, you're moving and shaking when it comes to real estate because it's just too cheap to buy houses right now. The financing is just so good that it's hard to pass it up if you've been thinking about it.
And I was thinking about the cash buyer because I'm thinking with all the activity, the multiple offers, in some cases, that having the cash gives you a little bit of step ahead. And as far as being ready, if you have the cash, maybe that's where you get the home you want at the right price.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, cash is going to be, it's still king. It's always been king. And at the end of the day, like I said, you want to look the best to the seller. So the easiest transaction is going to be one with cash because there's no appraisal to jump through, which we're having a lot of problems with right now. There's no, additional contingencies, and it's just less risk for the seller. So yeah, of course, if you can go in with cash, and if not with cash, you want to show the seller that your down payment is significant so that you're credit worthy and that you're prepared that if there is an appraisal issue, you're prepared to pay down on it should that come about.
As far as the seller goes, what are you telling sellers? It sounds like, well, the first thing I'm going to say, if I'm selling my home and it's the market as you described, and I know it depends on the certain neighborhoods and things, but
Sure.
If I'm going to sell my home, I better know where I'm going because it might sell fast. Is that right?
It could, yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to know where you're going or have a backup plan if not. Because yes, things are moving quickly, but they're moving quickly if you're smart about it. We're not in a situation where every house is flying off the market. It still has to be priced appropriately. It still has to be in good condition. It still has to have the staging and all the other things to attract buyers because while there's a lot of buyers out there, they're still pretty picky. So they're not just going to jump over hoops for everything.
Well, that's very interesting. Also, as far as when we get our home ready? Are there other things that we need to do now than maybe we didn't have to before?
It's important to make sure that your house is in move-in ready condition. If there's any of those homeowner maintenance items that you've been putting off, now's the time to take care of it. Another thing to think about is if you are considering putting your house on the market within the few next coming months, you might want to go ahead and get your pictures taken now of your exterior of your property, because as the winter comes along, things, tend to turn brown. And so if it is something that is in the back of your mind, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and contact myself, Christina Boston at Boston Real Estate Group, or your realtor to go ahead and get those pictures taken care of so that you can have really nice, fresh outdoor images for when your property goes on the market.
In fact, as you say that, we may take it for granted. I still look at the HAR and MLS just to see what's going on periodically. I'm still surprised how many unprofessional pictures there are. What's going on with that, Christina?
I don't know. I can't speak for other people. I can speak for myself in saying that it's money well spent to hire a professional photographer. I would want people to use a professional, and I preach using a professional to sell your home. So why would I not use a professional to take the pictures? It's the best marketing tool because people are online, especially these days. You have to catch them online. And if your pictures aren't pretty, you're not going to attract the buyers that you're wanting to attract.
In fact, we're hearing, too, from people that are outside of the state of Texas that sometimes are buying properties without even seeing them or seeing them just for one time. So you better have those pictures looking great.
I've done that several times. I've had several clients, one that was in Washington and another just recently that was from California. And they only had one opportunity to see the house. And so that's not enough to remember it. So I would go and I would do a lot of FaceTiming. We would do FaceTime tours. And sometimes, if the connection wasn't good, we would have to do video tours and upload them to YouTube. But we've definitely had to get more creative in the way that we see properties, especially like we've been talking about this morning, especially with all the recent things that have been going on. Sellers are just as worried about people coming to their home as people are going into other people's home. So the online presence is huge. You have to have the virtual tour and not the slideshow of the pictures. It has to be a true virtual tour where it looks like you're walking through a house.
And all of a sudden, I'm curious how you do this because of what you know about Houston, how much you love Houston, and I know that.
Yes.
But many times, you and other realtors are now talking to people that have never been here before,
right,
and they want to be here for whatever reason it is, maybe retirement, better tax situations, all those things. But if someone said to you, Christina, I have X amount of dollars, I don't know, 500,000, let's just pick a number, maybe six. Let's say 600,000. They call you from California. They know about you. Hey, I heard about you. I want to buy a home, 600,000, Christina, but I don't know what part of town I want to live in. How do you paint the pictures in a brief way to give someone that look of Houston through the phone?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask questions about where they need to be. So if you have employment, where is your employer located? Because if they're down in the med center, I'm not going to put them, I'm not going to suggest that they be, all the way over in, Humble maybe. Maybe they should come, down to Pearland, or maybe they should be over in Sugarland. So I think that's the key. But really, Houston is so diverse that there is really a pocket of everywhere all around Houston where you can find similar things. So whether it is you want walkability, or I need to ask the questions to the buyer to find out what they're looking for in the lifestyle that they're trying to live. So it's more of an you have to implore what they want from their life when they move to Texas.
So you do that research.
Yeah.
And what parts of town come up the most, if any? I'm thinking there's at least two or three that are probably fill many bills like that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the Woodlands has been really popular. Obviously, I love the Woodlands. The Woodlands is great. And I've actually been spending a lot more time in the Woodlands now that I have a college student in Huntsville. That's our meeting spot. Oh. Yeah. So the Woodlands is obviously really key. If you're going to the Med Center, and if you're coming down here for that, then you're going to be coming to the Pearland, Sugarland area. It really just depends depends on, what you're coming down here for.
Very interesting.
And of course, Cypress is always booming because we love Cypress.
It is unbelievable. And before we close out this segment,
of course,
Christina, what else would you like people to know?
Just, that I'm an independent broker. And like you said, I love this city. I think the most important thing we can do as realtors is to give back to the people that give to us. So, I'm just grateful to be in the city. I'm grateful to be continued working. I know things might look a little different these days, but we work together in Houston, and I think we're going to continue to do that. And hopefully we all come out of this healthy, safe, and profitable.
And with the real estate we need and love. We're talking with Christina Boston Real Estate Group right here in Houston, Texas. Christina, how can people reach you?
You can reach me at 832-331-4103, or you can email me at bostonregroup@outlook.com.
The number again is
832-331-4103, and I'm also on Facebook, Boston Real Estate Group, LLC.
Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you for having me.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Let's welcome Paul Killian with Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty. He is the VP of Operations, doing incredible work all the time. Paul, welcome back.
Thanks so much, Bill.
Here we are at 950 KPRC. This is the first time that you're here, and
first
we're glad
time here.
that you're here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's tell people far and wide, not just in Houston, not just in the United States, but all over the world, know about your company, Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty. What's the latest?
So what's great about our Houston operation is, I think we're strategically placed everywhere in Houston where we can be, covering every square inch as much as possible. In the south, we're in the Friendswood area. In the north, we have Kingswood, Woodlands, and Cypress. And then, of course, in town, we have a Memorial and a brand new central office that we visited before. And so we've just been, I think, doing what most brokers are doing now, adapting and reinvesting and relooking inside. And so what we're doing now is really focusing on everything we can.
The different, and when you mention those areas that you're in town, you actually have physical locations at all the places that you mentioned, and they're beautiful, by the way, with tremendous people at each and every one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we try to take all aspects, like I said, of the area, and we just go from there.
As far as the business right now, when you think about every neighborhood, every one of your offices are a little bit different, but do you think about, you're known so well in what we'll call the luxury market, and let's define that. Is that over a certain price point? But you're known so well. How is the market doing, let's say, at the higher end, maybe a million plus? And I know you have some listings that are 13 million and even beyond. How's it doing on the high end? And then how's it doing at their other end?
See, and I think that is what's so fun about real estate, whether it's 20,000 or 20 million, whether it's 100,000 or whatever the price point is, your home is usually the most expensive things you own. So whether we're dealing with a $200,000 or $300,000 home or a $20 to $30 million home, care is taken at every price point, and that's how we define excellence, right? Excellence is at every single price point. And so the tools that we have and the tools that we offer to both our agents and our clients are really similar across the board. And I think that that's why a lot of people like to turn to Sotheby's and turn to Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty, is because of the availability of the tools, the reach, the quality marketing, the quality assets, and things like that. They also know that we handle each home like it's very, very valuable. And again, the price point in some ways doesn't matter, because we are dealing with someone's pride and joy. We're dealing with the whole emotional component. You raise your family there. You've done everything in this home, and it means a lot to you if you're selling. And so regardless of the price point, we're going to put that very, very high on our list.
That's right. You are known for excellence, and that is good to hear, because if my home, let's say, is $250,000, I'm going to get the same great care as if it were $250 million.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The fun part about Sotheby's is we do get a lot of headlines because we do handle a lot of celebrities' homes and CEOs' homes and homes that are 50 million, 100 million. So we do get a lot of headlines. In fact, our company just put out numbers. So far through the first 3 quarters of the year, we've closed $90 billion in sales across the globe. And when you think about a brokerage of that size, we're in 72 countries. There's over 1,000 offices across the world. You're touching so many different price points, so many different areas. And so you have to be able to work all different areas, whether it's, in the middle of Manhattan, whether it's more rural. We have a whole farm and ranch section. And so what I think is really special about Sotheby's is they've been international for a very long time. They've been in multiple price points for a very long time, and they've been in multiple demographics for a very long time. And so we take these tools internally, and as we adjust, we're constantly looking at feedback from both the clients and the agents. How do we make this better? How do we make this work a little bit for you? And like I was saying earlier, we take that as a baseline, and then we go from there.
Is the other thing you're known for with the Sotheby's name, the other Sotheby's international real estate companies out there in Dallas and so forth, you have an international presence. Let's talk about that international presence a little bit.
Yeah, sure,
that's
of course.
Very important right now. We're having people coming from everywhere.
We're having people coming from everywhere. I think that, when we entered the Houston market in 2014, that was very important there as well, just because Houston is such an energy-focused city. So, we have a very strong relocation team led by Tess Cheney. We have 4 people there. And so a lot of the feedback we hear is if you're living in Italy or Japan or Australia, wherever you are, it's that familiarity. So you're uprooting your family, you're moving across the world. And so when you see similar brands that have given you confidence in wherever city you've been living in, it's just one less worry to come across. When you're moving countries, there's a lot that goes into it. You have to get different driver's license. There's just a lot of different documents. There's things that you don't really think about. And so if we can make it easier, which we do, then that is another reason people coming from all different parts of the world just enjoy working with us, because we try to simplify the process as much as possible for them.
That's right. And the work of all of your team, but especially Tess Cheney, really comes into play. It's been a while since we've talked to Tess.
Yes.
Just made a mental note. We'll be reaching out to her again soon. The other thing that flashes in my mind is as your magazines have pictures of beautiful real estate, I love just to take a look at them. They have beautiful real estate all over the United States, but also, as we're saying, outside of the country. It's fascinating.
It's fascinating. And again, so this year, the pandemic has impacted us a little bit in the fact that we looked more inward, and we've been having a lot of conversations with our affiliate companies or our sister companies about how do we take what we have and just leverage it more? How do we make it maybe less expensive, or how do we make the reach further? What can we do as this large company that can help the seller and help our agents perform their jobs a little bit easier? And so that's one of the areas we've been focusing on. So we ran a long campaign in August and September. We have sister companies, Cooper, Sotheby's International Realty in Austin and San Antonio, and Briggs Friedman, Sotheby's International Realty, which is mostly in Dallas. And so the 3, including us, so the 3 of us have partnered together, and we've been cross-promoting things, and we've been just sharing more information and brainstorming and trying to come up with ways to make things easier.
We're hearing so much about people coming from California and New York. What about other countries? Are you seeing someone from other countries coming over here? If so, what country? Is there one more popular than others where they're saying, hey, we want to come over to Texas?
That's hard to say. The short answer is no, there's not one more popular than the other. It's really driven, mostly it's still oil and gas, which is our biggest client still. And it's really where they are at in their life cycle. And so oil and gas makes headlines a lot, whether they're expanding or contracting. And that really plays a role. And even when they're contracting, we still see an influx of clients. When they contract, generally we see more the VP level come in. So that if they were in the field somewhere, we'll see a package for them to come in, and we have a very strong VIP relocation section. And so we're able to handle the VIPs as well as, like I was saying earlier, with those different price points, and we can get them into homes of their choice.
What are some of the other things you want people to know about what's going on and how you're helping buyers and sellers right here in Houston?
Yeah, there's just so much to talk about. And we've been heavily pushing social media. We've been adjusting our social media. I would say there's 3 things that all the clients should be aware of right now. The first are the interest rates are at unbelievable lows. I mean, under 3% is just unbelievable.
Amazing, yes.
You know, we have a shortage of inventory. And so we've been advising our clients and our agents a lot about what that means. Having less inventory, what does that mean if you're a seller? What does that mean if you're a buyer? And then also lifestyle. So it's still the pandemic lifestyle is still making an impact. And a lot of reports you'll hear of a flight to the suburbs, for example.
We're hearing that.
But we're not always seeing that. And again, that's where our size and our reach helps us understand. We're also seeing people wanting to downsize. You know, and actually we do have a level of buyers that are moving into the city, which I think is really interesting. And if you don't have the size or scale, you might not understand that. So you might not be advising your clients in the best way.
You mentioned earlier farm and ranch, and you're talking about people leaving the city, people coming into the city. What's farm and ranch? Give us a quick word on that.
Yeah. So, you know, back in, I would say, the second quarter to the summertime, we saw significant interest in second homes. And so farm and ranch could be anything from an acre or two in Brenham to, obviously, you know, we sell hundreds, if not 1,000-acre working ranches. And then that's when you're getting more into the Dallas area and the Hill Country area. But we can still broker that deal. We can still assist whatever client to get out there as well.
And Paul, before we close this segment, what else would you like people to know?
Just I would say it's really important at this time when there's so much change and so much out of the ordinary to really go to a professional. And at Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty, we fight really hard to make sure our agents are the most educated out there. We have business development classes every week, sales meetings every week. And so there's just this constant stream of information. With so much change going on, you really need to be dialed into the industry to be able to advise someone the best way possible. And
Paul, if someone wants to reach out to you, what should they do?
Sure. They should certainly email me or call me on paul.killian, KILIAN, at SIR.com. And my phone number is 713-558-1925.
One more time.
713-558-1925.
Thank you so much, Paul Killian.
Thank you.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Let's welcome Hedley Karpas with Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty right here. Hedley, welcome back.
It's good to be back again, Bill.
It is awesome to hear your wonderful voice. Once again, let's tell people a little bit about what you're doing. You're helping buyers and sellers right here in Houston, but we have something special, too, to talk about.
True. Something very exciting. I am working on a new building a new high-rise building that is going to be built just outside of River Oaks called the Paramount. Very Art Deco style, beautifully detailed. It's going to be built by Randall Davis as the developer, and will be 25 residential floors, total of 50 units. So unusual to find such a small building being built in Houston.
Sounds like a Paramount idea. What are the price points there, Hedley?
Absolutely. Price points start out at $1,080,000 and go to just over $5 million.
That sounds tremendous. And when, I would think you're selling them now.
We are. We're in the process of selling now, and sales seem to be going pretty well. Just trying to get it wrapped up so we can actually start coming out of the ground.
So then people will be moving in theoretically or potentially. When would someone, if I bought a unit right now, when would I be moving
Bill,
in roughly?
We're expecting to deliver for occupancy in 2.5 years. Because of the size of the building, it's not going to take as long to build out, but there are a lot of intricate detail in the exterior of the building.
And it sounds like from a design standpoint, the Art Deco, and where in Houston is it going to be?
So used to be Crispin, where a Crispin antique shop used to be, right on that site. It's Westheimer. For local reference, 2 blocks east of Central Market.
super location. That would be a great place to live.
It's wonderful because you can walk. Pumpkin Park is pretty much across the street. The Briar Club is right next door. Central Market and Highland Village. It's a neighborhood. It's not a on the freeway congested location.
I might add, it sounds like the center of the Houston universe, in so many ways.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's a little side street.
Oh, that is awesome. So as far as the 50 units.
50 units.
How much is the most expensive one? Do we know that yet?
That is just over $5 million for 6,600 square feet.
Wow. And I bet super views abound.
The interesting thing on this building is every unit in the building has two different views. They're all a corner unit. That's the design. And then the majority of the units in this building have a semi-private elevator that opens directly into your residence.
So you are there, Martha Turner, Sotheby's International Realty. Sounds like this is one of your projects, but outside of this, you're still helping regular people like me and everyone else buy and sell their homes, right, all over town.
Bill, at this stage in my career, I'm known as the old man in the dinosaur who's been to the rodeo one time too many. I love what I do, and I've just done this for so long now, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
That is interesting, too. When we find something that we love, isn't it nice to, and whatever it may be, it's always changing. Every industry, every profession does. But there is something nice about settling into an ever-changing, comfortable world that we love.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because I always described it to my fellow realtors as being in real estate is equivalent to riding a roller coaster every day. You have your highs, your lows, and you never know when they're going to hit.
There you go. And it's exciting all the time.
Absolutely. Your heart is pounding.
Well, and every real estate transaction is a little bit different as well. So that makes a super gumbo of fun. And also, we have to rise to that challenge so many times as twists and turns take place.
Absolutely. In my 30-plus year career, I've never had two transactions that resemble each other.
In your 30-year career, how many years have been in Houston?
I put myself through college in Austin, so that was in 83. Out of the 30, probably 27 in Houston.
And then the other time in Austin.
Other time in Austin.
And you originate from?
South Africa.
How about that?
It's been a while. It seems like a whole nother lifetime ago, but I remember the beauty, and it's a beautiful place.
Have you been back recently?
Not recently. The sad part is most of my family's all left. The good part is they're here in Houston.
Well, that's one of those places. There's many places in the world that have an allure to those that haven't been there, but that's one of the places people always stop and say, "Well, I want to go there sometime if we haven't been there."
I'll tell you, living here, I never realized just how beautiful South Africa is.
Is that right? What's the temperatures? Just curious. This time of year, let's say it's...
Well, they're getting into summer. They're middle of summer now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So opposite. So December is hot.
Interesting. So going back to the Paramount, what else should we know about the Paramount?
It's going to be a luxury building. It is going to be the premier building to date that Randall will have built. 9th floor amenity level will have an indoor swimming pool, outdoor pool, sunken fire pit area, gymnasium, chef's kitchen, dining area. It will have valet, concierge services. And the building sits really nicely on the property, and it's in an area where, of course, with Houston, with no zoning, I can't guarantee it, but I cannot see any high-rises being built to block the views, so it should be unobstructed views.
Does it have its own website yet?
It does. The Sotheby's Homes Paramount or Paramount Houston.
ParamountHouston.com?
.com.
Easy to remember, Paramount Houston. If you're driving, don't stop and write. Just remember, ParamountHouston.com. As far as other things in real estate, what else is happening as far as buyers? Do you serve buyers, let's say out of the 10 last buyers that you've helped, how many of them have been from out of state or out of the country?
Well, with COVID, that's kind of slowed down a little bit, but probably out of the last 10, maybe 2. One from out of state and one from out of the country, actually.
How often are you hearing from people from the East Coast?
I hear from the East Coast quite a bit, but I'm actually hearing more and more from the West Coast now.
That West Coast they're itchy over there. We're hearing about that more than ever.
Well, what's happening, Bill, is people would rather spend 6 months in Houston and pay the Houston property taxes, and that way they don't have to pay the taxes the way they are in California.
The state income tax,
exactly.
and all the other special and extra taxes. I just saw where the comedian Ron White is selling his $7 million home.
There you go.
In Beverly Hills. And I think he must have found something in Austin already. So there is a migration out there. People are getting itchy. They like Texas, I think.
Absolutely. And, with the money you can get for your homes in California and come by in Texas, it's a bargain.
And it's got to be fun to be from somewhere where you're so used to prices, and you could take New York, Connecticut, places like that where the prices are so high, and then you come here to somewhere in Texas, Houston perhaps, and you find the difference in price, how much you could get. One, I bet it's a cash deal saying, wow, look what we can buy with cash and have money left over to do other things.
Exactly. And, it trickles down to the quality of life that you have for you and your family. You can, obviously buy a bigger house for less money and have more activities at home, which is more important these days as COVID is spreading.
And I will tell you this, I've said this a million times, and that is as far as all other cities we have the best restaurants. I don't care what, and our restaurants are open right now. Houston has a tremendous restaurant offering for anyone visiting or living here.
True. And I don't know if this is still a fact, but I know from a couple of years ago, Houston actually led the nation per capita on people who ate out.
There you go. I'm getting hungry right now, Hedley. Let's tell people before we close the segment, what are some of the other things you want people to know?
About Paramount, it's 2 units a floor. They are minimum of 1,800 square feet. There are some units that actually have 3 different views. So you could end up with a downtown view, a River Oaks view, and Galleria views. So you can basically watch the sunrise and watch the sunset from your home in the sky.
That sounds awesome. Hedley, how can people reach you if they want to reach out to you?
713-444-5721. Or come by the sales office anytime. We're open Wednesday through Sunday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Stop by, come say hi. We've got a great sales center. We've actually built out rooms, so you can come see what a kitchen's going to look like. You can come see what a bedroom's going to look like, the bathrooms, the appliances. We're doing Gagano appliances and Eggersman cabinetry. It's going to be first class all the way.
And again, let's tell people. So right now, we'll call it a model high-rise home, right?
Yes.
So let's tell them again where that is.
It is on Westheimer, and the address is 3722 Westheimer.
What hours again?
We are open Wednesday through Sunday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Sounds awesome. You could reach Hedley at 713-444-5721. Did I get that right?
That is correct. 713-444-5721, and the property address 3723 Westheimer.
A Paramount idea, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Hedley, for being on the show.
Good seeing you again, Bill. Take care.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance.
I say it all the time, stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer wherever you're at. And right now we have the one and only Tammy Barna. She is in our Cypress office doing incredible work. Tammy, welcome.
Thank you, Bill. I've been looking forward to this all week long. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's awesome. It's been a while, but we know all the areas in Houston are doing so well. We're expanding in every direction. But the Cypress office that you are at, you and the team, the A-plus team, let's tell people a little bit about what's going on over there.
Well, great, Bill. Stewart Title Cypress is located right on the corner of Skinner and 290 in the Metro Park and Ride parking lot. Wonderful, convenient location. And yes, Cypress is a thriving community. We have wonderful schools out there, home of the #1 master plan community in the Houston area. Bridgeland is absolutely wonderful. It's a great place to raise a family, not only Bridgeland, when there's Town Lake, Cypress Creek Lake, and just a great place to be. And our team there in Cypress is phenomenal. We have 14 of our team members there, and we do a fantastic job.
They really do. And as far as the area, too, it has, I think, a little bit extra scenery than some of our other places here in Houston.
Oh, yes. I was out walking this weekend in Bridgeland, and all the trails that are available to you out there, the lakes and the surrounding area is just amazing.
The other thing that I don't know that people or realtors always think about is, as you and others in our team develop business, some of how much of a resource you are to the real estate professionals in your area, because you're doing so many things every now and then, have special occasions, educational things. So I would remind realtors, especially out there, you're right there leading the charge in some of those initiatives in your office. Yes,
I am. We absolutely love realtors, love bringing them their continuing education classes. We've got a wonderful HOA addendum class coming up, as well as a MUD notice class, and those two are two addendums that are two documents that agents love to come in and learn about. There's so many brand new agents out there. I want to be a resource for each and every one of them.
I'm glad you mentioned the brand new agent element, because I think as the market has been, I'm guessing, I don't have facts for this, but I know as the market has been so good and realtors are doing so well, seasoned and ones that have even been in there for a few years, I think that has spurred on new people to say, listen, I want to take a look at that real estate profession. So certainly you're a resource for new agents, vintage agents, whatever you want to call it. You're helping people all the time.
Yes, and one thing I would like to point out is we've volunteered through HAR to be a pickup location for Supra lock boxes for the Cypress area. That way, agents do not have to go all the way in town to pick up their lock boxes. They pay for them online and make an appointment with me, and we can get them taken care of. And I get to meet a lot of new agents that way.
That is awesome. So let's tell people again, the address, Tammy, of your office
is 25250 Northwest Freeway. We're in Suite 140, right on the corner of Skinner and 290. And that is in Cypress.
And if they want to call you to find out about these classes, or if they want to bring their real estate transaction, and who doesn't, to you, Tammy Barna, what should they do?
Absolutely. They can call me at 713-203-8640. You can find us, the Cypress office, at stewart.com/Houston. And my email is tammy.barna@stewart.com.
The phone number one more time?
713-203-8640.
Thank you so much, Tammy Barna.
Thank you, Bill. I look forward to seeing this on YouTube.
It will be. As I said, our BDOs, our business development people, are extra special. And guess what? We have another tremendous business development officer right here from Stewart Title. Her name is Christina Sacco. Hey, Christina.
Bill, it's so good to be in the studio. It's been way too long. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and what you do and our other business development people are helping people all the time. You're a resource, whether it's a brand new agent, as we've said, or someone that has been in the business many years. But let's tell people about the area you serve right here in Houston for Stewart Title.
Well, great. Well, I'm with the Fine Properties Division, and we are located in the Upper Kirby area, Kirby Grove, right there at Richmond and Buffalo Speedway. And we work with agents who sell throughout the city, primarily with the River Oaks, Heights, Montrose, Westview, Memorial, Tanglewood, Post Oak. We even have very loyal agents who sell all over the city. So we'll close transactions as far as Galveston, Pearland, as far as even Sugarland. So we want to make it easy for our clients and their clients, so that way it's a smooth, easy transaction.
That sounds great.
Thank you. We like to make it easy.
There are people out there right now, Christina, that are thinking about calling you to close the real estate transaction.
Wonderful. We want to help them. Any chance we get, we want to help people make their dreams come true.
In fact, one of the things I'll tell people, and I've mentioned this before, is that sometimes if we don't realize that we could ask and tell our real estate professional that we want to close at a certain title company, and we always say, we would love to be stewards of your real estate transaction. Close at Stewart Title, right?
Absolutely. And so I actually live in a high-rise, and so every chance I get, I tell friends of mine that are listing in the building that I'm right around the corner, that we're 2 blocks away from where I live, and, come close your transaction with us. We've closed several units in the building, so we have a good history, understanding of what is needed for those documents for the closing transaction, the condo docs, whatever's needed. We know what steps need to be in place to get to get you to the closing table.
And not only that, I'll use this opportunity to tell people at our website, Stewart.com, and you may be listening outside of Houston, outside of Texas even, Stewart.com. We're an international company serving people all over the place, but you can learn. Sometimes people don't even know what the title is or questions about the title policy. It's on Stewart.com. So we're there to serve you with a lot of information on our website, too.
And absolutely, just recently, one of my escrow officers and I, we went to lunch with a new agent. Well, she's not a new agent, but she's new to owning her own brokerage firm. And we were explaining all about title, how the closing documents, what they mean, what Schedule A, B, and C mean. So now we're going to teach her new agents who are new to the industry about closing, what to expect, what to prepare for, why it's important to have a survey, all the important factors. We want to be able to educate you, but also we want to get you to the closing table.
That sounds good. We're talking with Christina Sacco, serving realtors and buyers and sellers right there at Stewart Title Fine Properties inside the Loop. Christina, before we close out, what else would you like them to know? And let's tell people how to reach out to you.
Well, we're always trying to host classes that are of value. And so just recently I did one with the Harris County Flood Control District with Matt Zeeb. And it's very interesting to learn what the county is doing, how they're preparing for 2021, what projects are underway, what bridges along the bayou are under construction. So that information is so valuable to you to share with your clients, especially if they're new to Houston. So many people are moving to the great state from other cities.
That sounds awesome. How can we reach you?
713-325-1748.
One more
and
time.
that's 713-325-1748.
That's Christina Sacco, Sacco, right, Christina?
Yes, 2 syllables.
2 syllables, 2
Yes.
C's. Thank you, Christina, for being on the show.
All right, thanks, Bill. It's great as always.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters would not be possible without our partner and friend, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is once again, John Bramlett. John.
Bill.
Hey, here we go. It's insurance time once again.
Show 351.
351. That is the serial number of this show, and it is amazing. It seems like only 350.
Yeah, it was only last week was 350.
It's interesting, and it makes you wonder that the volume of guests we've had, the quality of guests. If you think back, and I usually do about this time of year, in retrospect, we have had tremendous guests with bringing forth fun things, interesting things, informative things, and also it's just we've had all kinds of tremendous guests.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful resource for anyone that's got an interest in real estate.
And the interesting thing is that so many people do. Even show the Netflix channels, Amazon Prime, real estate shows or things with home remodeling, makeovers, all that stuff, I think has just been of interest to people. And we hope that this show is adding to that gumbo of great things that they could tune in and watch with real estate.
Absolutely.
Speaking of gumbo, I'm starting to get hungry, but we'll put that aside. As far as insurance talk, what premium insurance talk do you have for us today?
Well, I'd like to continue our discussion around risk and exposure. 2 weeks ago, we began this discussion and we reviewed what risk and exposure are and what it means to manage that risk and offset that exposure. Last week, we began reviewing 3 of kind of the 8 factors that we see that can increase risk. So today, I'd like to continue our discussion on real estate industry factors that could increase the risk that our partners might come across.
That sounds good. What are they?
Well, let's begin. The fourth one would be business relationships. Be aware of and vet your business relationships, your referral partners, and your associates. These associates that we work with, that we refer, that we hire, they're all a reflection of us and our firm, both positively and negatively. So it's important to be aware of those associates and those relationships, and be careful about what firms and who you recommend to your clients, because again, that can reflect both positively and negatively back on you as a business owner as well as your firm, which could cause a potential risk. The next one would be electronic communication. So even before the pandemic, we were using electronic communication more and more. It had increased quite significantly. With the pandemic, with this onset of the pandemic, our industry's use of electronic communication has exploded. So you've got virtual open houses, you have Facebook Live, Zoom meetings, text messaging, email, electronic signature, the use of laptops and cell phones and tablets have all increased. And with that increase becomes the concern that you could potentially be hacked or infiltrated by the fraudsters, where they potentially could misdirect funds or steal personal and confidential information. So it's just important to be careful about that electronic communication, how you use it and when you use it.
And as you mentioned, checking out people we're going to do business with. It was not that long ago on this show, many people we had a private investigator on the show, and many people get background checks on people they're entering business deals with, they're getting ready to employ, and even in the world of matchmaking and dating, sometimes people check out the other potential mate. So checking people out these days is very important, and there are people that do that professionally.
Absolutely. It's just important that, we had talked in previous shows about as professionals staying in our lane and doing the things that we do best and letting those that do other things best do their work. And that's part of that idea of vetting, is that, one, we don't recommend things that we shouldn't be recommending, but also if we're going to suggest somebody or an organization, that we've done our homework to make sure that we're comfortable with them, because as I said, that's going to be a reflection on us as an individual as well as a reflection on our company.
That's right.
The other one to take a look at would be managing information. That kind of goes hand in hand with electronic communication. Many of us in the industry, handle and store non-public personal identifiable information, NPPII, non-public personal identifiable information. So just think about all the things that we might come across and we might handle for our clients. Social security numbers, driver's license numbers, citizenship status, gender, their address, their phone numbers, their email addresses, financial information, date of birth, place of birth. Just think about all that information that we would have, and then what happens if your files get hacked? What happens if somebody loses a file, loses a laptop, loses a cell phone, and that information becomes somebody else's knowledge and how they could use it? So just keep in mind all the information that we manage and how critical that is. The other area to take a look at is, and it's very prevalent today, and even more so during the pandemic, is this idea of the use of social media and advertising. That online, the use of online tools to interact with prospects and clients is fantastic, and it's a great form of building your business and maintaining your business. But it does come with risks, and we just need to keep that in mind, that with that great tool, it does come with it risk. The old adage of with each action there's an equal and opposite reaction, and that's part of that with the social media. So just keep in mind, what information are you sharing when you market yourself or your marketing properties. So just keep in mind, what am I sharing, and is what I'm sharing potentially could cause a risk for my business or for my clients. Am I using a photo or an image that's something I don't have the rights to? Am I violating a copyright situation, and suddenly I get sued for using a photograph or an image that I don't have the rights to? So keeping that in mind could a post that I have be construed as being negative against somebody? So suddenly I get sued for a slander, a claim for libel. So again, keep that in mind. And could the information that I post online lead to social engineering? We've all heard about social engineering from a cyber attack perspective, and all that really is, it's the use of deception to manipulate individuals for fraudulent purposes. The use of deception to manipulate individuals for fraudulent purposes. So instead of using technology to get into a company's technological, get into their computer system, they're fooling us. Hey, Bill, this is your boss. I need you to send me this information. It looks accurate, so I send the information, but it's not my boss. It's a fraudster.
Somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
So many things to think about, John. If someone wants to reach out to you, what should they do? Or your company, Stewart Insurance?
Give us a call at 866-798-2827. They can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com or visit us online at stewart.com.
So informative every time. The number is 866-798-2827. Wherever you are in the United States, you can call Stewart Insurance. They're there to help you, not just in Houston, but far beyond. Thank you so much, John. The number again, Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. Did I get that right, John?
You did it. I believe it's 866-798-2827.
We should put music to that. Thank you, John Bramlett, and thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. On behalf of your host, Bill Knapik, John Bramlett, and all the greats at Stewart Insurance and Stewart Title, thank you, and we'll see you next week.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance.
Hey everybody, it is Bill Knapik, your host for Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, reminding you that if you are in the process of a real estate transaction, you're thinking about a real estate transaction, whether it's residential or commercial, whether it's right here in Houston, Texas, or beyond, go to Stewart.com. We would be honored to be stewards of your real estate transaction. Simply go to Stewart.com to find the closest location to you here in the United States. Also, we are an international company. Certainly, if you're here in Houston, we have many offices to serve you. Again, Stewart.com. There is a difference in title companies, so check us out. The website is Stewart.com, and once again, we would be honored to be stewards of your real estate transaction, and thank you for listening to the show.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance.